Okay, so up to this point, we've talked a lot about some examples and things you can do with data and how to think about data. So now let's just go through some quick examples so you can understand quickly, because I realize a lot of beginners sometimes have trouble understanding like how they can apply their data science to businesses. So let's get this done quickly and we'll move on. So just remember, data is growing all around you. From your customers' data to the industry data, we live in an age where there's no such thing as no data. There's just literally so much data being collected and stored everywhere. And data is produced not only by our own business systems, but external data as well. You have social media, you have Google Trends, all this stuff being collected. So data is being collected with every click right now. So what do we do with this data and how do we add value to businesses or our business? So let's look at 10 projects that we can actually apply data science to. And basically the scope of these projects are some analytics projects. So analytics does fall under data science. All data scientists should be good data analysts as well. It's not a prerequisite or requirement, I would say, but it's a very good thing to have. And I'll talk a bit about analytics further on, or what a data analyst does. So these are the projects we could look at. Determine your best and most profitable customers, most profitable items or item categories, your customer lifetime value, look at seasonal trends and do some forecasting. You can do some machine learning prediction projects now. So this is the machine learning part that relates more to data science, because machine learning, it's a subset of data science, but it's one of the key components of it. Okay. You can determine which customers are likely to leave your business, and that would go into retention analysis. Like we would want to try to keep these customers, and we would want to know who these customers are and what probably is the likely thing that indicates a customer would leave our business as a customer. We can look at customer segments. This is a very important project. Recommendation systems, like we've seen with Netflix and Amazon before. You can do some A/B testing of ads and all these things. You can check like UI, logos, that sort of stuff. Fraud detection. And you can do some natural language processing of social media sentiment. So let's look at each project in little detail. So we're looking at our best customers. So many businesses or many people mistakenly think their best customers are the ones who spend the most. Now, usually that's a safe assumption. However, there are some exceptions and some other metrics we can use to find our best and most valuable customers. Look at something like gambling. I've worked in the gambling industry before, and basically customers who deposit the most often are probably the most skilled gamblers. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes there are people who just deposit and we keep getting money from them. So they can actually be, these customers who are skilled gamblers, they can be profiting off our business a lot. And this happens a lot in sports betting, because sports betting isn't always by chance. Sometimes people have inside knowledge. Sometimes people actually can be like gaming the system, like bribing players. It's kind of like a big thing sometimes. So it's something we should look at, okay? Also, retailers like Amazon, who have customers who spend hundreds monthly. However, due to their relaxed return policies, these people can be returning products regularly. So these people, while they are big spenders, they're actually returning all the items to Amazon and basically just renting these items for free, because Amazon now has to take back their items, their used items, and probably refurbish them and sell them as B-stock or as used items. So they're losing money on these big spenders. So it's key that we know how we identify our best customers and then find a way to find them using the data. Even outside of profit, actually, you can look at customers who perhaps generate the most referrals, or perhaps continuously increase their spending over time. These are metrics that a good data analyst can track and over time, and maybe even predict who in a year is going to be our best customer. So what about this? Getting the most profitable items and item categories. It's fairly straightforward. However, there are a couple mistakes people can make. All right. For instance, this is a project I actually worked on with someone. They were looking at their items that they sold, and just using a simple SQL query, they thought a certain item was a top seller for years. And I looked at the data, and within an hour, I saw an issue. And the issue was there was a brand of beer that they didn't think was the bestseller, but they knew it was a top like 20 item. However, that beer was sold in three variations. There were cans, medium, and large glass bottles. I think the medium was in cases of 24. That's why it wasn't like spotted as a top seller. So this beer actually was their top seller, and they had no idea. It didn't even make the top 10, mainly because I think like number 12 or 11 was the first like the cans, I believe, of the beer. So that actually shocked them. So additionally, categorizing items can shed some light on what customers really want. So if we categorize all alcohol together, then categorize all our candy together and this kind of stuff, we can actually maybe get better insights into what our customers are buying. Customer lifetime value is actually very important, okay? Because basically you can see in this graph here, we have like three types of customers. The majority of customers fall in this range here. And then there are some very profitable and non-profitable customers. So you're going to want to know basically who is the customer value over their lifetime. And it can be a generic formula, or it can be specific to these segments here. So in this case now we actually need to know who are these guys and what their lifetime value would be. So why is this important for? Because if you're spending money to acquire customers, you're going to want, like, suppose it costs, like, say $100 to get a customer through marketing, but that customer's lifetime value is like $80. You're losing money. Or what if you find a method, like say it's Google Ads in some part of the world, that was acquiring customers quite cheaply, but those customers turned out to be almost non-profitable or just very low lifetime value customers. Again, you're losing money. And what if there was a way, like someone told you, hey, we spent $300 to get a customer here, but then you look at stats or the data and see that those type of customers were generating like $500 over their lifetime value. That is far more valuable for you to know. So it's good for marketing and customer retention to know these things. And look at seasonal trends. Seasonal trends are actually very important because understanding the seasonality of your business can affect like stocks, getting early stocks, launching promotions early, preparing for other trends as well. You need to know these things. Like, look at this funny one here. This is when Rihanna's song Umbrella came out. And apparently the peak of that song coincides with every most rainy day of the month. It's quite funny. And most likely it's probably because radio stations or whatever, or just people in general are singing the song and it gets stuck in someone's head and they want to go down in YouTube when they get home and listen to it. So that's probably what's happening. But things like this, businesses need to think about. And this is an important one. Businesses need to know which customers can leave their business. Retention is an exercise that's often proposed and performed by businesses when they try to prevent their customers from dropping their service and going to a competitor. So imagine that we're trying a retention strategy that involves giving gifts and a personal call to all your customers. But what if you had 10,000 customers? That is going to be an exhaustive waste of time and money. So it would make more sense if we can create a model to predict which customers were most likely going to leave. And what if we actually could even go more granular, look at the customers who are most likely going to leave and see if they're actually those high customer lifetime value customers, and we target those. That way the business spends a lot less time and money retaining those customers, and those customers are the most valuable to the business. And this is another key thing here. Customer segments. So we have all these types of customers who shop at our business. And we need to know basically who are they, essentially, like what metric they belong to, what category I should say. So by performing advanced cluster analysis, we can reveal some very insightful things. Like, for instance, the supermarket can have customers who are middle-aged women who may shop during the day, age-retired persons who may shop even earlier in the day, school children who may be coming right after school. So let's go back to that slide. So these are just 3 examples of customers we can have. So if a grocery knows this, they can actually have specific marketing at different hours of the day targeting each group. That way we get more sales from our groups, we know who our customers are, and we can tailor our products and advertising to them. It's much better knowing this. And there are a lot of clustering metrics you can use in data science, and we'll discuss those later in the course. And this is a funny one. Recommendation systems. I mean, they don't actually work like this in real life. This would be hilarious if they did. But this is a very important thing, especially for e-commerce sites that have a large variety of, or quantity, I should say, of items. And the reason for that is because you're just spoiled for choice. It's like you go to a site like eBay or Amazon, and you literally have millions of items. How do you even begin to find like what you want? That's basically what recommendation systems do. Basically, they try to find, go back to this, what items are tailored specifically for you to help you shop. It's like having a personal shopper with you. And A/B testing. A/B testing is like critical in the business world now. You need to test different ads, see what's performing better, test different, like, in real life, it's going to be like shopping display windows, that sort of stuff. So we need to know how optimize our business, like look, layouts, all these things, to basically maximize our sales. However, this is not easy. It's not as trivial as people would think. It's not just trying A and seeing how it works for day and trying B. You actually have to design the test. You actually have to have the statistical knowledge to make sense of the results afterward, to know if it wasn't just a random chance B outperformed A, or if it actually B is better. And lastly, fraud detection. Now, businesses lose a lot of money from fraud. I know for a fact that at a gambling company I worked at, there would be like quite a few people attempting to defraud us every so often. And sometimes we never built any AI solution to detect it because we didn't have that many customers at a time, like new customers coming in. However, it would imagine like Bet365 in those companies. They probably have people trying to sign up with like fake passports, fake IDs, fake credit cards, stolen credit cards, I should say. So businesses need to know how to detect these types of frauds. And there's so many others. Besides stolen credit card and identity, there's affiliate fraud and basically tons of others you can do. So if we have machine learning models we can use, we can eliminate fraud. And as you can see here, fraud is $1 billion business and it's growing every year, with people becoming more exposed to hacking and more online shopping. It's just larger economies. It's just going to keep growing. So we need to get better at detecting fraud to help basically save your business. And lastly, there's actually a ton of other AI and data science projects you can do. But since I only limited to 10 for this slide, for this section, the last one is going to be natural language processing, NLP stuff. And there are actually tons of NLP projects you can do. It's like, I didn't even mention it here, but it's like in the investment world and trading, it's like NLP is key. Like you can actually have social media headlines from all over the world being streamed, sentiment, how they correlate to each stock. It's massive. And typical businesses though, you can actually use NLP to like summarize your survey data. So if you give customers, like thousands of customers, a survey, and you basically want to just get some insights quickly, we can use NLP to actually extract that insight. You can actually summarize reviews and testimonials to get some key pointers and know exactly what people are saying. You can build chatbots to basically save on like customer service agents and call centers and that stuff. And you can do social media sentiment to basically see, maybe in a graph, have it plotted, whether our feedback on social media is good right now or bad right now. So these are the 10 projects I would emphasize that every business is probably capable of doing and should be doing right now in this modern day. Thank you.